Hello. Welcome to ethBeats, Lessons in Graceful Living. I'm Lee.
And I'm Belinda.
ethBeats, Lessons in Graceful Living is the podcast of the ethBe platform. What do we mean by the acronym G.R.A.C.E. in Graceful Living? Belinda?
G stands for governance, the overarching concept of controls and standards to govern relationships in a system. Whether it is a business, a partnership, a company, a non-profit, or government organization. Relationships between and among different stakeholders. Part of governance relates to risk, the R in G.R.A.C.E. And in the digital age of fast-paced life, how does an organization manage the different types of risk? A key component of risk for organizations relates to anti-money laundering. In this age of digital financial transactions, new risks arising from fintech innovation. This is the A in G.R.A.C.E. So, a robust compliance framework and system is critical in safeguarding stakeholders' interests in any organization. So, the C in G.R.A.C.E. stands for compliance.
Thank you, Belinda. And we come to E. There are two meanings of E for us. As professionals in different areas, we know that business dealings can be complicated, and often it's hard to see things in black or white, right or wrong terms. Thus, one key concept underlying governance is ethics, and ethics is core to this podcast. On this point, I have an analogy to share. In my childhood home, there was a common garden at the back. One day, the gardener planted 3 trees. And over the years, the trees grew, but interestingly enough, at different pace. The first and the third trees were more exposed to the elements, the harsh sun, the lashing rains, but they grew tall. In contrast, the second tree that was planted in the middle grew in the shadows of the other 2 trees and was smaller and weaker. What lesson did I draw from this observation? It was that in life, one gets stronger by facing challenges. Life does not flourish in the shadows. In the discussion of ethics, we may need to address difficult issues, but bring them into the open we must. For it is in discussing stories, sharing lessons, that we can be stronger and better together. The second meaning of E is something that connects all of us, regardless of class, race, gender, religion. At this point, I'd like to share something which J.F. Kennedy said in 1963, not long after the Cuban Missile Crisis was averted. He said, "Our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air, we all cherish our children's future, and we are all mortal." This is an apt quote for a time such as this, not just because we see armed conflicts around the world, but also as the world grapples with climate change and the environmental impact on livelihoods around the world. So E stands for environment and social in the ESG framework. Our podcast will follow the iterations of G.R.A.C.E. In the next podcast, we welcome our guest to talk about governance, so please do join us. Last but not least, this podcast is possible only because of the efforts of our colleagues working hard behind the scenes. So a shout out and thank you to Daphne, Flora, Kevin, and May. In the upcoming episodes, you will meet our co-host Elaine, who can't be with us today. ethBeats is a podcast of the ethBe platform, supported by RHT Grace Institute, a non-profit organization. We welcome you to be part of the ethBe community. Do check out the website, which we will put in the notes to this podcast. If you'd like to be a guest or to nominate someone to be on our podcast, please do also contact us. Until the next time, stay healthy
and stay positive.